8 o'clock in the morning, I'll have fish and a rice cake.
Okay, welcome back to Fish and a Rice Cake.
Been a while.
It's been a while, hasn't it? It has been a while. And yeah, we thought we would bring back season 2 of the podcast. Are we calling it season 2?
I was going to say this. So I think we call this season 2 because we're at home. We're not in the studio. It's probably going to be from home now for the foreseeable, just with everything we've both got on. We've got going on, which we're going to chat about. So I think season 2,
Season 2 of
episode
Fish and
1.
Rice Cake. Yeah, so there we go. So I'm Jake. Obviously, he's Jake, aka Dave, as you know. And we're here to off. What did we used to say? What was the thing?
I think just here to help give you some actual fitness, nutrition training advice that is actually going to help you and help you wade through all the crock of shit out there with all the fads. And I can't remember what it was. We should have
Something
checked
like that.
out.
It was
But
something
we're
like
probably
that.
going to, I think in this second series now, or second season, whatever, we're probably going to end up talking a little bit about actual behind the scenes of coaching as well. I think a little bit about the
Mhm.
actual running a coaching business and what we found with that, especially after we gave that talk the other week about how we've got to where we are. So I think that there'll be a few things about that.
There'll be a few things that changed this series. Like I say, one, we're not in the studio anymore. So obviously, listen, if you've always just listened to the podcast, you might be like, "What you want about?" But if you've
Well, the audio will be slightly different still, though.
the
It's
audio
not
won't be quite as good,
quite
even
as
though
crisp.
we have got proper mics. It's still not going to sound quite as good, obviously. But yeah, so we used to do it in a studio in Manchester, and essentially that was we used to go in there and do like 4 episodes ago. But now we're going to talk about it soon. But now Jake's got some commitments, shall we say, some which are maybe kind of bottlenecking his time, and I'm certainly going to have a lot of that soon. And actually, the fact that we don't need to be in the studio, we can literally do it from home. So,
Yeah.
and I've got my own studio now, mate.
You
Look at
do
it.
now, yeah. You've got
Yeah.
your own little outhouse, little office. It's class.
The biceps cave, mate, is what I'm calling it. I think everyone thought it was going to be a gym. Do you know when I first put the biceps cave online, they were like, "Fuck, I'm so
Yeah,
jealous." I would love it to be a gym, but in reality, it's just an office. Like it's
yeah,
wicked. Like it's really good. It's like it's just down the garden. But the reason we did it is because I told you like it was either this or buy a new house and buy a 4 bedroom house. And to buy a 4 bedroom house, it was ridiculous. The price was just silly.
yeah,
So it was like, well,
yeah.
this is worth the investment because as we're going to talk about, I've got another baby coming in January. So the baby that's coming in January is very rudely going to be taking my current office inside the house, which is why I built this. But I'd love it to be a gym, but it's actually quite cool because when I come out here, I get that like separation. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like this is work, that is home. Like,
'Cause
and
it's down at the end of your garden, isn't it?
down at the end of the garden, yeah.
Yeah,
So like, I
yeah.
have to make a conscious effort to come down here, turn the heating on, turn the
I was going to
lights.
say, do you have heating in there? I was wondering about.
Yeah. So I've got it's like an aircon slash heater thing put in. It's just there, and
Yeah,
it's quality, mate. Honestly, it warms up very quickly. And obviously, when the summer, this will be like a greenhouse. It does the aircon, so it does
yeah.
both. But I like it because like if we're going to do more of this as well, like obviously I've got the plugs on show and stuff. I'm going to get some more things put in the background, but
Mm.
you can almost make it look like a studio. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah. Easily. Yeah, you've got the
So
space to do it.
that's the plan with it. Like I said, I did half think about getting some gym stuff, but
Mm.
the thing for me is like, and I don't know what you're like here, but I like going to the gym.
Yeah, I do. Even if I had like lockdowns were fine when we were training from home because you've got no option. But even if I had a home setup now, I'm not saying I wouldn't use it, but I know I wouldn't put half as much effort in as in actually going to the gym.
And I think for me, it's like an intent thing. Like if I go to the gym and I walk into the gym, it's like, okay, I'm here for a reason. I'm here
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get it done and I'm here to get out.
There's
And
a
like
whole like routine and mindset around it, isn't there?
literally that. It's just that, yeah, it is. Whereas if when I'm at home, like again, like lockdown, whatever, I bought, like everybody else, I bought dumbbells and a pull-up bar and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, mate, I barely used it. I didn't really train in
Mm.
lockdown. I was useless just because again, I don't like training at home and couldn't get that separation thing. And when I was training, I was like, I remember trying to do like pull-ups in the garden. The dog was literally like biting my legs. I was like, this is just. I've got actually a video. I've got like your ring. I've got a ring camera. It's
Yeah.
got footage of me doing chin ups, and the dog is literally hanging off my foot. I'm like, he was a puppy at the time. I'm like, this isn't training. Do you know what I mean? So I don't. Yeah, I'm not bothered about not having a gym at home. To be honest, I quite like that. That kind of that thing of
Yeah,
going.
if I had the choice, I'd go for a office like you've got every
Yeah,
single time. Which
you'll be here
we
one
were
day
looking at
soon, mate.
moving this year. We had even a look at houses. We had this place on for sale and whatnot, but just wrong time of year to try and do it really. But
Mate,
yeah,
just buying houses in general at the moment is just
oh, it's
mental.
ridiculous, isn't it? And the stamp duty's going up next year, apparently, from like April, May time. It's like tripling, we got told.
Yeah, stamp duty is going up. Obviously, the interest. What are the interest rates at the moment? I don't
I
even
think we were
know.
looking at like 4.1, 4.2, something like that. So it's come back
That's
down. It's come
yeah,
back
it's come
down.
down a bit because I think ours. I mean, so when we got the mortgage on this house, it was like, mate, it was like 1 point something percent, and
Yeah, yeah.
stupidly, we didn't tag in for as long as what we should. So we only tied in for like 2 or 3 years,
Mm,
and it basically now because it's gone up. I think it went up last January. It was up for renewal, so we had to tie in for another period of time, and we did 5 years because we're like, listen, we don't know what's going to happen with the market, but I think it was like
yeah.
5%. So our mortgage I mean, it went from like £600 a month to like £1,200 a month.
Yeah, yeah.
I
It's
was
having
like,
it. Ours did on this place. Ours went from about, because obviously this is just like a two-bed flat. Ours went from about 320 quid a month to literally 600 quid a month.
yeah, it's
Like, it's
fucking mad, isn't
ridiculous.
it? It is
But
mental.
we didn't come to talk about interest rates and mortgage prices.
I know, yeah. Welcome to the business, the business.
Oh, that is a sign of how old we're getting. How
I know.
conversation just naturally flows to fucking home office, interest rates, mortgages.
Crazy, is it? Yeah. So no, so we did think we'd almost do a little bit of an update on life for this episode and just kind of where we're at with our training and stuff like that because obviously a lot has changed.
Yeah.
Jake has had a baby, not him actually, but
Not
like
personally. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
not personally. I was there though. I was present.
yeah, you were present
Not much
and
use, but I was there.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So you've had Lilo. How old's Lilo now?
She'll be 11 weeks on Sunday.
No, wait, that's flown by
Yeah,
that.
it has gone quick. It's gone
That's
really quick.
flown by. Yeah, so Jake's had Lilo, and how have you found adjusting to dad life?
Oh, difficult. It is difficult. I know we've spoken about this quite a bit. Like, it's not even so much the first week, it's the lack of sleep. That was the biggest thing. I remember the first few days that we had with her, I was honestly like falling asleep standing up, like just watch it. Like, I just could, I've never been so tired in my life. Um, but since then, I found you kind of adapt to that, like the lack of sleep. I'm getting maybe 4-ish hours a night, something like that. Maybe
Yeah,
five on a good night. And you kind of get used to it. But it's just how it takes over your entire day. Like, and don't get me wrong, like I'm fortunate in the sense that I'm working from home, obviously Soph's on maternity leave. Like I can help her, I can break off and help if she needs it, but Soph will have Lilo for the majority of the day. But even so, like having to break off and do little bits here and there, and then when you finish work on an evening, like it's just non-stop. And we were saying the other night, like you can't sit down. Like the second you sit down, there's a reason to get back up again. There's like another job
yeah.
that needs doing or something else to get done. And you're just like all the time. It's just non-stop. So it's definitely I always knew it would be a big adjustment, but it's had a bigger impact than I thought it would.
Yeah, it
100%.
does. It definitely does. Like, I remember when Thea first came around, like, you feel, I don't know what you expect, because you don't really have expectations, because you don't know, do you? It's just all
Mm,
known for you. But you know you're going to be tired. I don't think you realize how tired you're going to be. You know it's
yeah.
going to be demanding. I don't think you realize how demanding it's going to be. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like the best thing in the world, isn't it? Like when you see the little face in the morning, you're like, "Ah, it's definitely worth it." But mate, it's hard. It really is. And like, obviously, I've been through it with Thea. Thea's two now. It does. I mean, in a weird way, it does get easier because as I was saying to you, then like Thea's sleeping now. Like she sleeps till eight,
Mm,
half 8 in the morning, and we actually have to go and wake her up which is ridiculous because she didn't sleep for the first year at all.
yeah.
But do you know what? Honestly, I remember people used to say to me, it will feel like a blur. Like all what you're going through now will feel like a blur,
Yeah.
and you won't really remember it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's so true. Like I don't really remember the stuff you're going through now because
Yeah.
when you're in the moment, it feels horrible. But actually, like I don't. It just kind of goes to the back of your mind. Like you tend to forget it. And I know we've got
Yeah.
it all coming again
I'm
into
gonna
it.
say, well, you've got it all to come again, so you're gonna get a pretty quick reminder.
No, no, but it is a weird thing. It is a weird thing that you do just tend to forget all of that stuff ever happened. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like it's real. And I speak to people now who've got kids who are a bit older, like two or three kids who are, 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
whatever. And like, yeah, you just kind of like you do just forget that stuff ever happened because I think you're just
Yeah.
battling through it. Do you know what I mean? Like you're
That's
just
literally it.
through
It's
it.
just getting through one day to the next. Like, whereas before Lilo came, like my daily routine, I'd be getting up at like 5, I'd walk Blue, I'd either
Go
go to the
gym.
gym, then train for an hour or so, or an hour and a half, whatever. And then I'd start work normally at about 7, 8 a.m. and I'd work through till 6 p.m., something like that. I'd obviously break off for lunch and walk Blue again, but I'd work till about 6 p.m. and then that was done for the day. Now I'm up at 5 still, and I'll walk Blue. I'll take Lilo with me if she's not sleeping great, so Soph can get a bit more sleep because she'll have her through. I'll generally stay up till midnight with Lilo, so
Yeah.
that Soph can get some extra sleep. Then Soph will look after her or sort of see to her until about 4, 5ish, and then I'll get up again with her and start my day. But I'll take Blue out for a walk, come back. Don't really get a chance to get to the gym first thing now, so I'll just get straight on with work to try and get ahead of that. And then you break off a few times through the day, and then it gets to like 6 o'clock. And I'm like, I've still got shit I need to do. So then I'm finishing at 6 to go and help with Lilo, and we have tea and we'll walk balloon stuff like that. And then my laptop's back out like in the evening if I'm just staying up with her to carry on with work and get it done. So then I'm working at like 10, 11 o'clock sometimes just to get stuff done. So it's like you're doing the same amount of work, but you're just having to split it across the day completely differently.
Yeah, that was the hardest thing for me because like you say, you've got this lovely little setup in life. Like you've got your
Mm.
routine, you can go to the gym when you want, and like that is the beauty of this job to a certain extent. Is like you can just you dictate your own hours and the
Yeah,
flexibility there.
100%.
Like it is the beauty of the job, but when this little thing that comes along that demands so much of your time, like you just like you say, I was doing check-ins at 3, 4 in the morning some days because I was like, well, I
Yeah,
might as well, I'm up, like I might as well
yeah.
start, and like. And then, like you say, you might have a couple of hours in the day to give the other half a rest, and you might do some more, and you're just all over the place with it. But it'll get easier, mate. It'll
You
get
get
easier.
yeah, as you adapt to it. It's stressful to begin with because, like I say, when you're used to your routine, you have those sort of self-imposed
I
deadlines that you
think
like to
as
stick
well,
to.
like it also makes you realize because everyone, and do you know, it's one of those things where when you've not had a baby, you're like, shut up, it can't be that bad. But when people are saying to you before, when you know when Soph was pregnant, I bet
Yeah,
loads of people said to you, oh, like get your sleep in now, like
yeah,
enjoy your
yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah,
You don't realize, and people will say to you, like, oh, you don't realize how much spare time you've got. And in the moment, you're like, it can't be that bad, like what you want about kind of thing. But when you then have the baby, you're like, fucking, I had so much time.
yeah,
And
yeah,
you realize you don't actually and you but even then, before Thea, I still felt like I was really busy and I didn't have any time. Actually, looking back now, I'm like, I had so much time.
yeah, yeah.
So
It's
much
mad, isn't
time.
it? Like
Yeah.
it's you don't really, and you do have that, and like even throughout the whole time Soph was pregnant, and I was chatting to people, I'd be like, well, I was like, I work from home, Soph works from home. I was like, so we're kind of in the best position possible for it to make it
Yeah.
work. So
Yeah.
I was kind of saying it should be fine, really. Like understanding that it'd be a lot and it'd be difficult, but it should be fine, and it is, and we are in a very nice position and privileged position to be able to do it. But it's still so hard.
But
It's
it's still
still
hard.
really hard.
Still a massive adjustment in your life, like especially, when you're not used to it. But yeah, we've got the I mean, I've got no idea
You
what
have,
we're
haven't you? You've got it all to come again with number two. How are you feeling
no,
for it? January, right?
Yeah. So the baby's due at the end of January. But we think that I say he or she, we don't know yet. We're having a surprise. So whatever they are, they them could be a they them. Is that so that they'll probably come a little bit earlier. Because Louise had some blood pressure issues the first time around.
Yes. Yeah,
So she
yeah,
had preeclampsia, so
yeah.
she had to have a C-section. And her blood pressure's fine at the moment. It's gradually starting to creep up. So mate, I mean, it's the 30th of December, like she looks ready to pop now. Do you know what I mean? So
We should be about sort of 33, 34 weeks now.
yeah, so the baby's ready. Like the
That's
baby's,
that's gone really quick.
I know, like the baby is now heavier than what Thea was when she was born. So
Right.
like she went the last time she went, well, by estimations, like when she
Yeah,
went for
yeah,
the checkup. So like it could in theory it could be any day. But yeah, so we're anticipating. So the actual due date is the end of January, but we're anticipating or probably more like mid slash start of Jan.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, mate, it's gonna be mental. Like the like I said, we've got such a nice we've figured it all out now with Thea. Like
yeah,
the only thing is, so I was speaking to Jack, Jack Gadd and Molly at the
yeah,
event, and they've got obviously kids a very similar age. So I think their little lad is very similar age to Thea, maybe a tiny bit older by a couple of months, but very similar. And they've got obviously the second little lad, and he's again like I think he's 6 months old or whatever. And Molly was saying it's weird like this. She's found this time easier because you have to make the baby fit into the toddler's life
yeah,
rather than
yeah,
you changing your life for the baby because
yeah,
the toddler is still going to be more demanding because the toddler's obviously going to nursery. They now understand life as well, so they do
yeah,
have
yeah,
these needs and demands. So I think to a certain extent, the baby will just be with us whilst we're doing everything else that we're currently doing. So like our
yeah,
routine can't actually change that much.
yeah, yeah.
It literally
You've got
can't.
to make it fit. I was chatting to a couple of my clients, John and Hannah, about this because they've got 4 kids, and
Yeah.
Hannah as well was saying like you just have to accept the fact you've got no control over anything, and you
Yeah.
can't dictate your own schedule really anymore. And you've just got to roll with it basically, and just sort of have that routine and try and make it fit that routine, but just accept that it's
Some
probably going
days
to
it's
be
going to
all
go
over the
tits
place.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess with each one, I guess it would get a little bit easier in the sense of you won't have the same worries as the first one because you're like, you know what to expect and you know what's coming. But also you just don't have the time to worry, I imagine, like because you'll have fear. You don't have the time to sit and worry and be like, right, we need to do this and is this right? And is should she be doing this and should she be doing this? It's going to be a case of right, we just need to do this and crack on and get this done.
Yeah. And you know, you are 100% right though. So
But it's still going to be hard.
yeah, oh no, it's gonna be extremely hard, but I think we'll figure it out. Do you know what I mean? It'll happen. And the beauty, of course, again, of me having like again, we've spoke about our job and we're very privileged to work from home and stuff. But I can with the baby out here with me, like
Yeah.
you know, she can sleep. I say she, like she or he can sleep out here. Louise can be inside with Thea. Do you know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
we'll make it work, and we're
Do you
very
have a
lucky.
preference? Obviously, with having Thea, do you have a preference for wanting a little lad, a little Man City player?
Not at all, mate. Not at all. Like people have said that to me, and I'm like, as long as they're happy and healthy, I just couldn't care less. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I've loved having a girl. Like so,
yeah,
I wanted a boy before we had Thea because I don't know what it is.
yeah,
Like I think boys just feel like they want boys, and then we had Thea, and I was like, what do they say, dads and daughters, right? Like they
yeah.
just you'll be having this now. Like they just take. I don't know. There's like a special connection there. I mean, I'm not saying they wouldn't be with a boy. Of course I would, but like. I don't know. There's something special about having a little girl. So
Yeah,
I'd be,
I wanted a girl to be fair. I would again. I wouldn't have been asked either way at all, but
yeah,
I was leaning a bit more towards that. I think that's just because I've grown up with three brothers, and it's
yeah,
always just been boys in the house. So that'd be nice for a bit of a change. But
yeah. No, I'm not fussed either way. Like I'm really, really not. But no, it's going to be interesting, mate. It's going to be good fun. Yeah. So
we just watch your training go to shit from the new year onwards.
literally. And like, do you know what? Obviously, we're going to talk about training soon, but my training's really good at the moment as well. Like I'm in such a good place with it. And I've just signed up to High Rocks.
Oh
So
God, I know.
I know.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm
So
literally
what
what?
has brought this on?
Do you know
We
what? I
spent
don't
half of
know.
this year bashing IROC. So what's brought this on?
I mean, I don't know, to be honest with you. Like, I think here's the thing. So, because High Rocks is not like CrossFit or anything. It's
Oh,
the way that I see High Rocks is it's got a very low barrier to entry. So,
yeah,
like,
it does. Yeah, yeah,
there's no high skill movements in there. Like, you run, you do like ski, row, lunges, like
yeah.
walk.
It's a PE lesson.
Yeah, yeah, literally. Like I see it as like a fucking sports day for adults, right?
Yeah,
That kind of thing. But it's just, I think I've always enjoyed everything that High Rocks is. So like as you know, I've always ran. Like
yeah,
even before we were doing like the marathon challenge, which we might bring back at some point.
yeah,
And like when I did the half marathon last year, I've always ran. So I've always done that stuff. I've always lifted weights, and I've always enjoyed a bit of conditioning alongside like my weight training things. So it's just a blend of all that stuff. So I just thought, fuck it. Like, why not? And
yeah,
plus, again, we always talk about like walking the walk and stuff. Loads of my clients are doing it, like loads of my clients. So I was like, well, if I'm going to be coaching them, and listen, it's not complex to program for High Rocks because of its simplicity. And you know, you can program for it fairly easily once you've got an understanding of what it is. But I was like, I still want to go through that experience of doing it so that when my clients do want to do it, I'm like, okay, cool.
yeah,
At least I've been there, at least I've done it, at least I can say, like, this
yeah,
is,
yeah. Sort of
you
same
know,
reason I did a show really the other year, just to have that
yeah.
experience of doing it. I mean, as much as we bash on it, we don't actually have like an issue with any of that stuff, do we?
Nah,
It's
nah, not at all. Even like CrossFit, like, although we bash CrossFit and we have a laugh and stuff, like, I appreciate how fucking unbelievable those guys and girls
I
are.
think it'd be interesting to do the High Rocks to have that perspective of you actually doing it then. And
Yeah, no,
are
that's
you going to do it
it.
alone or are you doing it with clients or mates?
So the one that I've signed up for is Glasgow in March. The tickets, mate,
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like I couldn't believe it. It's like trying to get tickets for Oasis or freaking something like that. Like they come out, they have to go into a ballot,
Yeah.
and if you don't get through, if you don't get on a ballot entry, the same as like Oasis, or whatever, trying to get a ticket on the day is like damn near impossible. But luckily, I know a guy who is like he's got an affiliated gym, so he
You
gets
know, like a backstreet guy. So,
backstreet guy, mate. Yeah, like literally, and he's managed to get
web
me one.
tickets.
So I'm doing a solos to begin, but I would like to do maybe like a mixed doubles or something like with clients, maybe just like
Yeah.
it'd be quite good fun, like something to do with clients, like a mixed doubles or a doubles. So yeah, so that's coming up in March, and obviously I've been doing a fair bit of training for that. Not that like my training has to change too much for that. And like
Mm,
in reality, I could go and do without blowing my own trumpet. Like you could do the same. Like you could go and do a high rest tomorrow, and you'd be
mm,
fine. Like it'd be hard, but you'd get through it like no problem at all.
mm.
But I don't just want to turn up and like I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I don't just want to turn
You
up
want to
and
train for it, yeah. What we'll
train for
do
it.
is then, close to the time of the actual event, we'll try do a bit of a challenge where we'll put ourselves, we'll basically race
We'll
against
do a
it.
sim. We'll do a
Well,
simulation. We'll do a full like a full
yeah,
high.
we'll do a full high rocks thing against each other.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what would be good fun to do as well is, you've got back into doing a bit of kickboxing and
Mm.
BJJ and stuff like that. We'll see if we can film at the mats at some point and we'll do a session of that or something.
We'll get my coach. Like he will. We'll do a one-to-one with him, and we'll just film it and
Yeah,
like
yeah,
stick.
yeah, that'll be a good laugh.
Yeah, it's good fun actually. I've just been doing that this morning. So yeah, like I say, training at the moment for me is like the best it's been for a long time because, like I say, right now Thea's sleeping, like so it's
Yeah,
beautiful. I train first thing in the morning like you used to, and I'm home and I'm home. I've been to the gym. I'm home. I'm showered. I've made my breakfast and I've got Thea's breakfast ready. All by the time she gets up, and it's
yeah,
that's why it's going to be such a shock to the system. Obviously, when the new one comes, of course, but
yeah,
that's why I'm also thinking. So if High Rocks is March, I know I've got to build a bit more of my aerobic kind of work up a little bit. So right now my volume's really, really high in terms of training. So already this week I've done like I did a run on Monday. I did a high rocks workout Thursday. I did something else on Wednesday. Can't remember what it was. But either way, I'm at about 3,000 calories worth of cardio already this week. All fairly high intensity. I've still got a big run to do. I'm doing double sessions. So I've got a couple of days where I'm literally doing like cardio in the morning, going to the gym in the evening or in the
mm,
afternoon. But it's all like I said, I've got that ability to do so right now. I know that's going to go fucking tits up from January. So what I'm trying to do is almost
get
build my
ahead.
volume up now, get that base now so that come January I can be a bit more specific with my training, knowing that I'm going to have to train much less.
Yeah,
So what I'll do in January is I'll be like, okay, realistically I can get to the gym 2 to 3 times a week, maybe 2 runs, but hopefully the base will then allow me to be more specific with my training in the build up to high rocks. Is
yeah.
my thinking. That's my thought process
I think
anyway.
that's the best way to approach it because if your training goes anything like mine has since Lilo's come, it's out the window. Like it's not out the window. Like I have still been getting to the gym every week, but whereas before she came, I was 4 days a week consistently, tracking, making progressions. I dropped from 4 days to 3 days after about 6 or 7 weeks of her being here because I was just
Yeah.
struggling to get all four sessions in. And I'm down to 3 days now. And even that, getting 3 days in, I tend to do one on a Monday. I aim to do one on a Thursday or a Friday, which for the last few weeks just hasn't happened. And I end up doing two back to back on it. So I'm basically end up training Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then not for the rest of the week. And obviously it's not ideal because by the time I've done Saturdays and Sunday session, Monday session just feels like dog shit. Um,
But I
but
think this is good for people to hear though, because I think people just assume that I mean, listen, I have got it good at the moment, but I think people assume that just like, oh, because you're a coach or whatever, like you've got it really good all the time. And like
yeah, yeah,
training's just like, it's something you love and you enjoy. Yes, you enjoy it to a certain extent, but really like me and you, a lot, and certainly the place you're in right now, and it will change. Like you'll get
yeah.
to a point where you love training again, of course you will. But right now, training for you is almost like, it's just ticking boxes in it where you can do.
It's just that it's like I could still once I've walked blue at 5, I could still go straight to the gym and train for an hour because Soph doesn't tend to go to the gym till 7:30. So I've got the time to do it then. But the problem is like I'm getting like 3 hours sleep. So at that time in the morning, I did do it for a bit, but I was getting to the
Mm.
gym. And because I'm doing full body, like my full program is literally like back squats, leg
Intense.
press. It's
Yeah.
big compound movements. And I'm like, I don't want to do those in the morning off 3 hours sleep with no food
With
for
no
for
food in
three,
you.
4 weeks. And it just felt like shit. So I keep being like, right, I'll go middle of the day when Lilo's sleeping, I'll go. So I'm not just leaving her with self. And I get to the middle of the day, and every single time it's like I could either go to the gym or I could get some work done that I need to get done. Every single time I'm going to pick work. Like,
Oh, yeah, of
unfortunately, that's
course.
always going to be my priority, and my training's
Yeah, like
always going to be pushed to the back end of that.
work is always a priority, isn't it? And it has to be, especially when you run your own business, like without a
Well, it
shadow.
should be, but I think there's a lot of online coaches that break off for 3 hours in the middle of the day every day to go train.
Do you know, for me, right? This is the reason. So, like, even at the moment, whilst I'm only doing 2 double training days. So I do a double training on a Monday and a Friday because they're, in theory, my quietest work days. It'll be like
Mm.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for me. Just there'd be no way I could do that. But I don't understand how coaches can break off in the middle of the day because for me, like getting to the gym, training, coming back,
Yeah,
then obviously you probably want to have some lunch, you want to have a shower. Like
yeah.
it's not just an hour in the gym. It's
No,
probably 2.5 hours by the time you've done everything. I don't have that time. I literally don't have
no.
that time.
I
Do you
think
know?
at most on a Tuesday and a Wednesday when I'm doing check-ins, which are like the busy days, at most I'll break off at lunchtime to walk Baloo for like half an
Yeah.
hour just to get a bit of
Yeah.
a bit of fresh air. And even doing that, I get back after half an hour and I feel like I'm behind again. And I'm like, right, I need to
Yeah.
get back on. I need to get back on with it. If I took any longer, and this is, I know we're the same. In fact, the gym fit, and I talk to my clients a lot about this because for some people, the gym's like a mental release and it's like an escape for them. It's their stress relief and it allows them to zone out. I just don't have that. Like if I'm at the gym, but I know I've got a shit ton of work to do, or it's the middle of the day and I'm like, I should be doing work. That is all that's on my mind for the entire workout. And all I'm thinking when I'm there is I need to get back home. I need to get back home. I need to get back home.
Do you
So
know that's the one thing that I've enjoyed about High Rocks, and one of the reasons I actually wanted to do it and mix it up a bit because I'm the same as you. Like when I go to the gym, a lot of the time, especially when I'm doing my weight training, it still feels like work. Like it
yeah,
does. I don't know why it just does, right? And like I'll be between sets, I'll be thinking about clients, I'll be replying to clients, I'll be thinking about certain I'll just be, it's always there. It's all just on the back of my mind the whole time. Whereas actually, the one thing I do like about this, especially like when you do a high rock session. Like yesterday, I did a session which was like 500-meter run, 30 wall balls times five. Then it was like on the rower for intervals. Then it's like on the skier for intervals. And you don't have time to think. And
mm,
I quite like that. You just got to throw yourself into it.
yeah, it
So
forces,
for
doesn't
that,
it?
yeah, and for that kind of 45, 50 minutes, I actually don't think about anything else. Same with like Muay Thai this morning. I was speaking to the one-to-one coach I've got there. And because we're doing like these combinations and he's like and the pads and stuff, like you actually it's a mental workout for me as much as it is physical
Yeah,
because you're having to like think all the time. And he's like, if he is he giving you an 8 punch combo with kicks and stuff thrown in, you're like, you've got to really think. So I don't have the opportunity to think about anything else. And that for me is like that's the only time that I really don't think about work.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's quite a nice little escape. Um and that's not to say that, listen, I'm not whinging about work. We've got the best job in the world, but it's just, I suppose when you're a compassionate coach and you're a coach who cares, like it's just always on your mind, isn't it? That's the thing.
yeah.
It's always there in one way, shape or form.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
don't think that ever stops. And then you guys also got engaged, didn't you, when you went on holiday?
we did, yeah. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
I
So
mean, it's a few months ago now, isn't it? I think.
that was July. We
Is that
went.
July? Fuck. I
Mm,
mean, as of recording, for reference, it's the 13th of December.
Friday the 13th. Oh shit.
I've got the
Bad
dentist
luck.
today. That's not good. A good omen.
Yeah, yeah, you're
Get some
fucked.
teeth pulled out. I'm gonna leave looking fresh for ready for Jeremy Kyle. I have like three teeth.
But yeah, no, so we went to Croatia. It was actually you who kind of because you proposed to Sophie. When did you do
In
it?
Barcelona in May.
In May. And I was like, it's been on my mind for ages because obviously me and
Yeah, I
Louise,
remember you messaging me about it afterwards.
yeah, it's been on my mind for ages because listen, we've been together for 10 years. Like we've got a baby, we've got a second baby on the way, we've got a house and a joint mortgage. Like we're pretty much married anyway, but I knew she wanted to get married at some stage and I knew she
Mm.
wanted the same name as the kids and stuff. Don't think she's bothered about like a big wedding, which is great for me and my
Yeah,
wife.
we're not doing. A bit.
Yeah. Yeah, just not that concerned, but it's more about the legalities and all that. But yeah, so I knew she wanted to have a nice ring on her finger, so I was like, right, Jake's done it. I need to pull my finger out and do it. I was like, I remember messaging you like, fuck's sake, like now you've done it. I was like, I've got to do it. I've got to do it. So yeah, no, we did it in so it was in Dubrovnik in July. So yeah, it was dead nice. Almost forget about that now. It just feels like an eternity ago. And
Yeah.
we've not had a chance to really kind of think about it. We came back, went out with family and stuff to celebrate. And apart from that, because we've got the baby coming in, because we've had a really busy year work-wise. Like, I've just not stopped to think about it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
We haven't really like so what we did pretty straight away was because we know we only want a small wedding, so we're literally doing like a registry office for the wedding and the meal
Yeah,
after we've literally just like close family.
yeah.
Then we're gonna organize like a bit of a do a couple of weeks later and hire a venue just for a bit of a party.
I think that's what we're gonna do. Literally the same
Yeah.
thing.
So we
Yeah.
literally we got back and within a couple of weeks of being engaged, Sophie booked the registry office for the date. She's booked a makeup artist. Um, and we've just
Is
like,
that for you? The makeup artist for
yeah,
you?
that's for me. Yeah. We've all fucking wrinkled. I'm getting baby's age of me. Yeah, we got the date booked. So we got the venue sorted. She's got a makeup artist sorted because apparently you have to do that well in advance. I don't know. And we were kind of just like, right, well, we just need to book somewhere to go for a meal afterwards, get a suit and a dress sorted, and like, pretty much done, to be honest. Like,
So when is it? You don't have to say.
don't ask me.
Fucking hell, Jesus, Jake.
We'll edit that bit out. I know it's in May
Okay.
2026. I think I want to say it's like the 14th or maybe the 26th
Ah,
of May.
mate, if
But
it's 2026, you got loads of time. As long as you're not booked it on the same day as like a photo shoot or something like that. But
yeah, no,
yeah.
it should be fine. I think it's on a Thursday. What randomly, I think it's on a Thursday afternoon, but I can't remember it.
You know what? I really like that though. Listen, I've got no like issue with people wanting to spend loads on a wedding. Like, you know,
Yeah, you do what you want to do, don't you? You do
yeah,
what's best for you.
absolutely, 100%. Like, it's everyone's individual decision. But like for me, I'm just, I don't know. I'm probably a little bit like a tight with money thing. Like, I just think like,
Well, I
if I
think we've just always said, especially we obviously knew Lilo was on the way when we got engaged. Like, I'd rather put that money into a house.
yeah,
Like, we need to
100%.
move next year. We need somewhere bigger. I'd rather put that money into a house than a
Yeah,
wedding.
that's the way I view it. Yeah, for sure. And like, listen, you can still have that big party with everyone. You know, it doesn't. You know, you can still have a big piss up and stuff. So yeah, we'll definitely be doing something very, very similar. Very, very similar. But yeah, so that's
That's a bit of an update, isn't it?
bit
That's
of an
where we're
update
at.
in our life. So babies, engagement. Fucking a lot's happened this year, hasn't it?
And that's just personal. That's not even talking about
Yeah.
business stuff and how much that. I mean, we did a fucking talk to like 150 coaches the other week.
Did it? Yeah. Again, it's been another really big year. I think we're going to do an episode soon about kind of like the photo shoot stuff. But how many photo shoots have we done this year? Two or three?
We've done three. We've done three
Three
shoots, but three group ones. Well, three group ones, and then we've had. I know I've had
individuals.
a handful of
Yeah.
individual shoots as well with clients.
Yeah.
We've
So
easily had like 60 plus people do photo shoots this year.
yeah, 60 plus people do photo shoots. As you say, we did a talk to 150
Yeah,
other coaches a couple of weeks back, two or 3 weeks back.
yeah. And then if we say that what the clients of ours that do photo shoots is probably 30% of our clients,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
So we still got 70% of our clients still smashing it and getting results and getting ready for holidays or weddings and things like that. That we
Yeah.
don't we don't even mention when we're on about the shoot results. But is equally as impressive and as important.
Yeah. It's been a big year.
It's been a big year.
It's been a good one though. It's been a good one. That's one of the reasons we've just had to push this
Yeah,
podcast back for a bit of it because it's just been so manic. It's just been so
yeah.
crowded. We've just not had a chance to really think. But I feel like things are starting to settle down a little bit. And I feel like
For a month.
it's just going to go tits up next
Well, I think
month.
that's the thing. I think going forward, we're not going to commit to doing this every single week. I think we're
Yeah.
just going to try and get together for at least a couple of episodes a month, uh,
Yeah.
and just do that because it's going to be the same stuff. It's going to be us giving our opinions, our rants on various fitness, nutrition, training topics, coaching topics, or just general life updates and what's going on. But yeah, I'm glad to be back doing it because I do enjoy it. I do miss the days out in Manchester. It was a nice day out for me.
Yeah. We'll just have to go to Manchester. Well, yeah, in fact, you're coming on Monday, aren't you?
I'm there on Monday. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't. I'll have to check with Louise because what time are you there?
I think around 12 till half
Yeah,
one,
because
half
the
two.
problem is Thea snaps three. I can't speak. Thea naps at between 12 and half two, three. So I'm
Yeah,
like, I might not be
you're
able to
stuck
get
at
there.
home.
I'll
Yeah, it's
figure it
fine.
out. But yeah, because last year we had a little, we had a biceps amount of work to do, didn't we? We went for a few pints and a
We
burger and
did.
stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We might not
but
get to do that this year.
we won't be able to do it this year. But we do have obviously we had the weekend a few weeks back with the lads and that. So.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been a busy one, but we just thought we'd give you a little bit of an update on where we are at in life, training. So you've got a bit of an insight into when we start talking about this stuff going forward. You've got an idea of what's going on. Yeah, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
So on
Like,
that note, as
subscribe,
well, we are
follow.
doing more vlogs and more challenges as well on YouTube, and that is a
Yeah, we are.
commitment. We're going to talk about this today, actually, and map it out. But we started last year with really good intentions of doing challenges and stuff, and actually, we did a really good one. So, like in January last year, we did the food challenge,
We did the food
5,000
challenge,
calories.
yeah. We did a Murph challenge for
The
CrossFit.
Mirth, yeah.
We did the hot wings challenge.
We did the hot ones challenge. That was about it, really, wasn't it?
I think that was about it. Yeah, we didn't do
Yeah.
much more than that.
Yeah. So like next year, so we did 3 out of 12, which is obviously not great, but next year you're gonna get a challenge once a month.
Yeah.
Once a month at least. And we're also committing to a couple of vlogs. So you'll see personal vlogs with our own training, nutrition, life, that kind of stuff. So if you're listening to this and you're not following us on YouTube, more biceps, more banter on YouTube. We've actually been pretty good with the vlogs recently, both of us. So
Yeah.
go and watch our vlogs. Go and watch what's going on in our lives. And on that note, I think we can finish this first episode, and we'll see you in the next one.
Catch you in the next one.
Bye bye.